What it do, y'all? It's your girl Bunzy V. I'm so happy that you are all tuned into my wonderful channel. Today, I have my lovely sisters with me. To my left, I have my beautiful sister, Yasandra.
Hello.
And to my right, I have Benaze.
Hey, y'all.
Okay, so, Yasandra, I know you just celebrated an anniversary.
Yes, ma'am.
How many years have you been married?
6 years now.
Yes, 6 years. Come on, we're trying to get like her goals. So, of course, and Benaze, you're in a serious relationship, a serious godly relationship.
I am.
How's that going?
Amazing.
So nothing is off limits. So girls, feel free to jump in whenever you feel like it, and we gonna take it. We gonna go down.
Okay.
And go. Okay. So of course we're gonna target Yasandra, and for anybody that knows, I'm Congolese, of course. And if you don't know, that means you need to go ahead and subscribe and get to know me again, because we're supposed to be like this right now. Like, okay. By this point, and I'm Congolese. So Congolese people, to show respect, we say ya. So of course you're gonna hear me say Yasandra because she is older than me. So respect your elders. All right, let's go. Period. Sandra, what was the shift from being a single woman to a married woman?
Well, for me, the shift wasn't big. Like, I spent already 4 years with him before we actually get married. So I was used to be with him, but it's on the decision making. It was easy for me if one of my sisters, Benaze, hey, Sandra, let's do this. Okay, let's go. I'm ready. Which day? And we're going to go ahead and do it. But now, every time you talk to me about a plan, they know me. I'll tell you, okay, but I have to talk to my husband. So that decision making, I always have to think about us and not me anymore. That was the big change for me.
So, okay, you did say that you had to consult with your husband. So, does that play a role with submission in that area? So, you're supposed to submit to your man so that you can be able to respect what he's telling you, right?
Okay, so submission is more than just decision making. Okay. Since you bring it up, what I would tell young people, do not get married to a man you do not respect, you do not admire, because you have to be able to submit yourself willingly. And a man that you already respect and admire, you don't need effort to go ahead and do it. I admire my husband's intelligence. I admire him on his behavior, the way he talks. So submission wasn't a problem for me. The only problem is to find out that I don't take decision upon myself anymore. And most of the time I refer to myself, I'll do it, I'll see, but then now I say, we will do it, we will see, I'll talk to him. So that's one thing.
That is a good point.
I love that.
So how do you feel about dating as a Christian? Because, you know, in our community, of course, like I said, we're Congolese. In our community, it's kind of like taboo to date, you know?
Right.
As a Christian. So how do you feel about that?
I think dating as a Christian is all about respect and boundaries. For me, in the steps that I'm in my relationship, all the people that have a say-so in my life are in agreement. So he's done the whole, like, all the green lights, all the red lights became green lights. All the ones under the godly 10, of course. But I think dating as a Christian is taboo when there's no respect and no boundaries, because nobody likes the waiting for marriage. Nobody likes the can't live together. Nobody likes the curfews. Because, I mean, don't get me wrong, curfews are not like a must if they're not biblical, but it's just a good boundary to set for yourself. Like, when I'm out on a date, I know by a certain time,
yeah, be home.
I'm just going to be home. I'm not going to put myself in that predicament. So for me, dating as a Christian has been great. I love it. So.
Did you have any problem with dating as a Christian?
No, I did not. And I don't see why is it a problem to date while you're a Christian. Dating is just a relationship that you're sharing with someone that you're planning on to get married one day. So if you do it the right way, you won't have no problem. It's when people want to make us have another idea of what they're not. So you have a different life that out there you're different than what we see in church. That's where it's a problem. And like Benedict said, respecting boundaries, we pretty much I live in my parents' house, not really my parents, like my family house, till I got married. I cannot come anytime you want me to come, or just leave home when you want me to leave, because you have to respect my family, the house I live in, and me as a person. So if you have boundaries and with the word of God, you will make it. Dating is not bad. It's what you do when you're dating that define your relationship.
Right. That's the word.
You have to create that boundary in order for them to respect you. Because, the respect has to be reciprocal. So when you're in a relationship, I'm the single one in the group, y'all. So, hey. so I do agree with both of them. I do believe that once you establish that boundaries, you also have like that opening and that leeway that man can respect you because you are creating boundaries for yourself. And it's like, your standards and okay, this is how it's gonna go, and if it don't go that way, we're going the highway. So yeah, I like that.
Yeah, and I think I just want to add something because we are Christians, but we're also Congolese, and culture plays a huge role in all of our lives. Right. A lot of times, being here and growing up here and being a little bit more Americanized, dating becomes taboo because a lot of like us don't want to deal with the reality of us being Congolese and what our like family and the people that have authority in our lives feel about our relationships. Because my parents are very transparent with me. There's not a relationship I've been in that they haven't known about. But the only time it gets frustrating or you feel like you have to like start telling white lies and covering things up is when you want to spend the night, you want to go on a trip and all those things. And it's not bad, but again, those are just boundaries. If you can live with your man and wait till marriage, that is kudos to you. Shacking up with a man is not a sin. The sin comes in if you are jumping over that boundary, and realistically it's very hard to do so. But that's just what I want to say about that.
I like that. That. So if you was to build your dream man, how he look?
Like my man right now. No, honestly, I used to have like a certain type of type. Yeah, Sandra, you know.
I know.
Okay, but once I like actually fell in love, it was just like, oh, like you're like an assistant to my purpose, like someone who brings you to where God wants you to be is your dream man. So I'm not one of those people that believe that from the day I was born, God had someone for me. I think God plays a father role, and he's an agreement. Like I think that for me, God has like a checklist of what he expects of you, and as long as a man can, hit every checklist, then I think that God is in agreement. So if I build my dream man, he's already here.
Oh. Yes, Sandra.
That's nice to hear.
Yes, Sandra. Come on. Yes.
That's nice to hear.
Before your husband, did you have a dream man? Did you fantasize about something? Or did your husband meet every criteria?
Well, I did. But the thing is, like Benet said, I found mine.
Okay.
The man I'm with is 95% of what I ask.
Husband, wherever you are, I need him to be 95%. Okay, 95%.
Because I say 95 because nobody's perfect. Right. You will never have 100% of what you ask for, and you need to be prepared of that. Yeah. Why am I saying that? I was not looking at the physical part. Okay. When I was dreaming about my man, I wasn't not looking about the physical part. I was looking about the education part, behaviors, how he handle himself around people. Okay. I don't like men that talk a lot and entertain a lot of people.
I agree.
And you guys know my husband do not
cool, calm.
Because it's not everywhere you go that they have to know you there. And I'm like that. I only entertain people that I want to. I go places and I can be quiet for 2 hours. It won't bother me if you're not my company. And I want my husband to be like that. And it's just what I have.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yes, he is pretty great. I can attest to that, guys.
No, seriously, he is. I could say this is like kind of hard because, I feel like, do I even have a dream man? I don't think I have one. I just feel like I want him to align with my purpose. Exactly. I do believe that God has put something very special. So that means I have to take care of it. And by taking care of it, that just simply means that I need to do right. Do right so that the right person can come and find me. Mm-hmm. And not necessarily God is going to drop a man at my doorstep, but I do believe that God does make things happen for for your good. And I do believe that, he will create a circumstance and everything will be all right.
I want to add something on what you said. You ask if you don't even know if you have a dream man, but what I want to tell you, you do. Once you get him, you will see everything you have asked for. Mm-hmm. Now you notice, oh, I always thought about this, and hey,
I receive it.
Yes, so you do have it. Okay. You may not know it because you won't say it out loud, but everybody do have a dream man inside out. You know exactly what type of man you want to have. And when you say that a man that will align with your purpose, he has a purpose too.
Right.
So it's gonna be both ways, but once you have him, you will know those are the type of men I'm looking for.
Right. Okay, I claim it. And I receive it. Did you change since your relationship? So from you being single to married, like what was it that changed? Like I know that before we actually jumped on here, I was telling you how certain people, they learn how to cook in their marriage. But before they were married, they didn't know how to cook. So what is it that changed, went single to married?
I'm going to admit it right now to make Benin happy. I got fat. I'm way bigger than I was.
That's a happy kids though. Right. Happy wedding kids, all of that.
Yes. I've changed. My wedding, my marriage changed me. When I say change, it can be both ways, positively or negatively, but I did change on the positive way. I've learned to cook. I never liked to cook. I still don't like to cook, but my husband eats, so I've learned to cook stuff that he really likes to eat, and I feel like I compromise when it comes to that because cooking is not something that I love to do.
Like, I love to cook, y'all. I love to cook.
I agree with Sandra.
I love to cook. I'll cook y'all everything, okay? So, I mean, you're in a serious relationship. So, I feel like what was it from you being single, for you having your own space, to you having something that's about to be really solidified? Like, I'm claiming a ring for you this year.
Yes, okay, and then I receive it. I think just to clear things up, being courted and being in a relationship are two different things. I think in the phase I'm in, I'm being courted. And for me, I think the only difference for me is just, as a young girl, you always dream about your wedding. We've been talking about weddings, especially being in my big sister's wedding. You're like, oh, I can't wait. They're going to wear this. I'm going to have this color. I'm going to have this color. But it hits different when it's around the corner and you're like, oh, okay, where are we going to live? What are we going to do? And you just, everything now, every move you make now, you're just like, is this going to make sense with you? With everything. So I think now it's more of a reality than it is a dream. It's more of a serious conversation than it is just a conversation. So I think for me, that's pretty much the biggest change.
Decision making,
yeah. What did he say? Live in our little Congolese community, we have different ways of how people, I would say, not everyone marriage life is pleasing. No offense to my peoples, but when you're like me, you're single, you want to have not somebody that you idolize or anything like that, but you want to have somebody that you look up to and be like, oh my God, their marriage is good. They like to be around each other. Their company's good. But you see some people, they've been married for 5 years, 10 years, and it's like, they don't like to hold hands, or they don't like to kiss each other in front. And I feel like that bothers me because I'm just like, I hope my Congolese man is not like this. So how do you believe that you can maintain your youth?
So let me ask you, because you keep saying Congolese man, do you want to end up with a Congolese man?
Of course. Okay. Yeah.
A couple years ago, I was American head to toe. Okay.
Yeah, I had to stick with my Congolese brother, but if God does something else, then we're going to go with what God has. But for right now, it's Congolese, so God, yo ka bien. So how do you keep your youthness in your marriage and your courtship? How do you do that?
Okay, I'm going to let Sandra go first. How do you keep your youth in your marriage, big sis?
Right.
Youthness for me is a state of mind. Yes, because when you get married, the marriage, when people first get married, you see them everywhere. It's once they have kids that a lot have to set it in, and it's gonna change them. So, but if you have that state of mind where you know what, I have those kids, I'm still young. I still have time to enjoy my marriage. It's when you go out there and try to do what you can do the right way, because sometimes some people do way too much and some people don't do nothing at all. Yeah. But you need to go out there. I still go out with my sisters, but they know I may do stuff, but at the same time, I always look at myself. I'm a married person. Right. I can wear some stuff and some I can't anymore, just to put myself in my places. But being youth is a state of mind. When I go to Instagram, before I was like, oh my God, I can't do this, I can't do that because of this. Then you go on Instagram, people that have 4 or 5 kids. If they find time to do that, I can do that too. Right. Yeah. So I went ahead and adjust my stuff. Me and my husband talk. Every year we have a trip.
Yes.
Once a year, we go places that I never been. And next year, I'll go Japan. Hey. Don't wait for it. So we decide, you know what? This is about me and you.
Right.
When I look at Benet, I look at Mama Pasteur, she will live very, very soon. She's going to do about her life. So Prince and Alpha now, once they hit that age, it's going to be about them. Yeah. And I'm on that age right now. Yep. So this is one of the advice I wanted to give young people. Do not lose yourself through the process. Do not live for your family. Live with your family. Because if you only live for them, once they're gone, your purpose is done. Right. But live with them. You have your own life to do. So that's what I think.
Ooh.
Live with your family, not for your family.
I like that. Did you have anything to add on that?
I mean, period.
Like,
that's all I can add.
I really do love that. Because, like I said, we always want to look at somebody and actually be like, okay, man, maybe we aspire, to do that. One thing my dad used to always say is, if you go to somebody's house and you realize that their house is clean and your house is dirty, go back to your house and clean your house. So if you're not youthful, try to incorporate little things here and there. It's not, it's not hard to go to the movies or create movies in the living room. Now, some people have about going to say, look, I made these, I
Yeah, because like me, I'm a body home. I like to stay home a lot. So I create that environment where even I'm home, we will rent movie for a whole weekend. My $20 can go on Prime just to buy new movies. Yeah. But it's a new thing, new atmosphere where you sit, you cuddle, you watch stuff, and then you feel good the next day.
I just want to say, and this is because the other day I was at my sister's house. I was at Sandra's house, and I had came over a little later, and we were all like hanging out, and then all of a sudden they were like, "It's Jesus time," and I was just like, "Oh, this is so cute." I had no idea what was happening, and all her 2 kids, Prince and Alphanel, they just came to the living room, and we just started praying. And I told myself I would never forget about that moment. Why? Because I realized that they had a culture in their house, like, outside of just being parents, they incorporate their kids so much that at 3 years old, Prince already knows that when I hear Jesus time, I'm going to pray. Even if he doesn't fully understand prayer, he already understands that at this moment when I hear this name, we're going to pray together. But right after that, they go get tucked into bed, and we're still downstairs hanging out. And when they go on their like outings and stuff, they'll like coordinate outfits. And so I think dating, keeping your youth in your marriage, from what I've seen as an example, like through my sisters, is just being friends, but then not leaving your kids. Because a lot of parents in our culture, they don't even know what their kids are up to. I mean,
and that's scary.
They stop praying with their kids at like 7. It's like, I have to go to work. So I loved that. And one more thing, I'm actually really calling out Yasandra today, but so the other day, we were all at her house again, and her husband had an alarm. Remember, Yasandra? It was an alarm.
Yes.
And it was like 11:30, and I was like, why do you have an alarm at this time? Like, I was teasing him because I was like, who's calling you at this time? And he's like, I have an alarm, so whenever my wife gets home, I can like welcome her, like, good morning or whatever. And I was like, oh, please, if you're watching this, take notes.
Take notes.
So I say all of that just to say, just little things. It's just such cute things. And even in that moment, I acknowledged it. I was like, oh, this is so cute. But even when I got in the car, I was like, man, marrying your best friend really shows, because you don't have to force it, So, yeah.
So what is it in your household that that your family created as something? Because you said, you mentioned how Yasandra has Jesus time. Is it something in your household that, you guys do often as a family that you would like to incorporate maybe later when you have your own family?
There's birthdays are really big in my house. We just do like the Courtney midnight. The whole family goes with a cake and gifts that you have. And so that's why I always do like the extra mile for birthdays, even if it's not big. Like, I have to come see you, I have to do this, I have to do that. So birthdays is something that I always want to like magnify in my house.
Okay. What about you, Yasandra? Of course, Jesus time, but is there something else?
Well, I cannot give an example of my home. Okay, I'm going to leave the example of the homes that I've lived in and all that. And I didn't really get an example, like I'm going to say about here in America. I didn't live in that house to pick up from that. But this is something I really admire about my uncle, which is Benet Dad. Your kids are your priorities.
Yeah.
Everybody that knows him knows that his kids are priority. This is something that I admire, and I really want to take it. And I don't know where we come from, Africans. When you're with a cousin in the house, they want to treat you all the same way, like, but then she's gonna leave, go back to her parent or do whatever. And for me, I have that for years, where I have to live with cousin, where I have to live with other sisters. It's not wrong, but I think that in a place, there's a special place for your kids only, and that's something that I will love. I'm doing it, but I'm just saying where I'm learning it. My kids are my priority, no matter what. That's what I learned from my family, because my uncle is like that. My aunts are like that. My dad were like that, but the thing is, they like that to everybody. But my uncle, Tonton Freddy, is nice with all of us, but he can put a line between his own kids. And that's something that I like and respect. That's something I would put into my own family. My kids will be my top priority.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. You know what? I was actually blessed to live in a Congolese home where my parents knew everything I was doing. Of course, we're young, so sometimes we can do things behind our parents' back. But for the most part, there's a lot of Congolese parents that, like Benet mentioned earlier, they really don't know what their kids doing, and it is scary. But like I said, I was blessed to actually live in a household that my parents really, they knew everything. Unless I was doing it on a sneak tip, they knew it. They knew it. And I think that allowed me to know that, like, when I get in my marital home, to, establish ground rules and make my kids my priority, and make sure that I'm actually, taking care of my kids and making sure that I'm putting them first. Of course, God first, my husband, then my kids, but definitely putting them first. So do you feel like there's something in the Congolese community, like a taboo, that make marriage look scary to you?
Yes, actually, I was gonna think about it, but we went to the Congolese Fest. Was that what it was? Coco Fest.
Oh yeah, the Coco Fest. Yeah, it's Independence Day.
Yeah, and so and I say this discreetly because I don't want to come off wrong. A lot of Congolese men don't actually take their wives out when they want to have a good time. Ooh, they take their wives out when it's time for the wife to be there, and that's it's very when they're with their wife, they're like, oh well, Nazana mère, Right. It's like, what does that mean?
Right.
Why can't you do anything with your wife here? And it's not to say they're doing anything bad, but when they're with their wife, it's only family time. But when they go just to like hang out, they're only with their male friends. You'll see like a group of my uncles hanging out, and the only time the wives are there is if there's a mourning, there's a wedding, there's a baby shower. You don't really see. And I just don't want that. Like, I want to be married to my best friend. And obviously there's a time where, Sandra, let's hang out, sister time. Cool. But then, like, it doesn't take away from, like, her husband being there at all.
Okay. Yeah, that is kind of scary, especially, like she said, everybody want to be best friends. Like, I don't know who wants to live in a relationship and y'all not friends. Like, I feel like that defeats the purpose of a relationship. Right. Y'all need to be friends in order to develop something more. But, I don't know.
It depends. Like me, I watch a lot of movies. Okay. You know me. I watch all type of movie. Chinese, Indian.
All of Indian.
So they don't really date or anything. They just present them. They introduce them together. Next thing you know, they get married. So the men want to keep that father figure where he has the supreme authority. Everything he says goes. So when you say everybody want to be with their best friend, that's like two people to tango. So your husband have to put into effort. I want to please my wife. You as a wife, you want to put in effort. You want to please your husband. So when you put effort on something, it requires you to accept the sacrifices that come with it, the compromise that come with it, and you're going to move. But if I didn't make no effort to have you, and first time in my heart you don't even know if I'm happy to have you. I will treat you any kind of way.
Right.
Because people get married for so many different reasons. Some people get married because when they were dating, then she got pregnant. That's not what they planned. Never proposed to her. Well, I just got you because of my kids, you know. And I'm not gonna only blame the man, or we're not blaming anybody, we're just talking. The thing is, like me as a wife, sometimes you have baby, you're overwhelmed, you never have time for nothing. So even if you go out, you don't present yourself well, some people start getting ashamed for their own wife. And they will leave you home.
That is true.
So you need to put into effort, you know. When I go there, there's not about me having kids. He's still a man. Those eyes, I have to keep it on me. If I see you look at something twice, next thing you know, I'm wearing the same thing and you go,
that's real. That's so real.
Yeah. That is real
That's
talk.
so real.
That's real talk.
who doesn't want to take a beautiful woman outside?
Yeah. So that means fix yourself. Like I said, if your house dirty,
Keep yourself,
right. Your house dirty, you better clean it up. Clean it up, y'all. Clean it up.
And I love that Yasandra actually acknowledged that. Like, if you look this way twice, I'm gonna look at myself and make sure I look better next time.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Wearing these wigs that's been like 20 days old. Y'all need to
I'm
stop.
thinking about this ponytail right now.
Y'all need to stop.
Yeah.
But you know what? I was really blessed to have you two on my channel today. And of course, before we end this segment of Kingdom Talk, Yasandra, just give us a little advice. Give us something that we can take with us.
Okay. What can I say? It's simple, just in general. I know I'm not preaching or anything, but Ecclesiastes, if you go to the book of Ecclesiastes 4, 9 to 12, they're saying that 2 is better than 1. If one falls, the other one will lift you up. So what I want to say is about when you go into marriage, it's 2 people relationship. What scared me to be married, when you ask Benny what's scary to be married, what scared me to be married is when you're a wife and everything in the house you gotta do it. Or the kids you have to take care of. That's not how it works for me. This is our home. We take care of it. Those are our kids. We take care of it. Don't only put the weight on me. So when you go into marriage, make sure your husband knows you as the person is getting married to. Some stuff you'll find it out. Like people say, oh, he didn't know who he was getting married. Honey, there's always red flags. The person will show you what they are. If you've been with a person a year, he's going to start throwing flag here and here. It's up to you if you want to read them. So when you go into marriage is not about making your man happy. Marriage is about both of you being happy. And when he does something he doesn't please you, don't hold it in your heart. Talk to him. Always talk. That's the key of a relationship, talking. So do a lot of talking with your man. Both of you. Nah, sorry.
Right.
That's all I can say.
Y'all, take the advice, write it down, make a note of it, keep it, okay? I'm so happy that you guys were tuned into my channel. And once again, if you watched this far, I need you to go ahead and hit the subscription bar and then hit the bell. Hit the bell so that you can be notified when I drop another video. Thank you for watching, and remember to be you, do you. Remember that, repeat, and your girl is out.
Bye.
Bye-bye.